Why would you want the woman that you lay down every night to be afraid of you? Why would you want that type of energy around you? That doesn't make sense. Why would you love bomb somebody and then pull away from them? Like, but there's people out there like that, right? Hi guys, Flawed and Content here, and I'm coming up here because I just watched a couple videos about narcissism, and you already know how I feel about that, and you also know that I want to start coming up here talking about discernment and intuition. I'm just getting my thoughts together, some Bible scriptures together about that. But this one is just going to be fresh off the dome because these are my feelings and my emotions when it comes to this conversation, because I'm seeing too much of it and I'm concerned. You know, sis, are you okay? Like, you know. So welcome to my channel, Flawed and Content. Like I said, my name is Danielle. I might not have said that, but my name is Danielle. And over here, I'm talking about the mother wound, healing, trauma, just regaining yourself after that trauma. But what I've noticed about my mother wound, particularly as I gotten to know my parents on a more adult level, is that my father, he was funny style, right? And I believe that because of his funny style-ness, my mother went her way. She decided to go her way. So with that being said, I started to like really dive into my father to get to know who he was, and just, you know, certain things made me realize like it be you, right? And I have a video where I talk about my father's influence in my mother womb. And that was a fresh emotion. So therefore I may do that video over when another time, but you can go and watch that because that was like a really fresh, like that was just me starting out. I think it's probably like a year ago or something like that. And you know, then I started realizing like, you know, my mom probably wanted to be soft, feminine, sweet, caring, attentive woman, but she felt like in order to save her life, because she was suffocating, she had to exit left, right? So I was watching a couple videos. I can't watch too much because if you watch my video where I talk about the narcissist is supposed to be awakening you, you know how I feel that the narcissist, we can only blame them so far, because once you give them access, they come in to party, right? So therefore it's like, you at this point, like, what are you doing? What are you saying? What are, you know, how are you behaving when it comes to this narcissistic person? And I know some of them can be a bit abusive, but I truly believe that these behaviors, before you really get rooted in, right, before you really get 3-4 years in, they're seen. Like they're seen. You can see these behaviors, you can see these temperaments, you can see these people at their worst behavior. Like, you know what I mean? But you just have to be paying attention to it. And you know, if you watched my other video where I say like, you're not trusting your intuition, you're not paying attention, you're not utilizing your discernment. I've been around somebody, I don't want to call him a narcissist, but I noticed my energy was being drained with this person. So therefore, I looked myself in the mirror one day and I was just like, I don't like who I see in the mirror, first of all. And I don't like how I feel in this environment. So I'm going to chuck up the deuces. This is why it's very important that you have your own, right? It's not that we don't want men to provide for us, but it seems to just be better to just have your own, so that way when it's time for you to be like, who this nigga talking to? You just pick it up and go, you know? And it's so sad that a lot of us colored women have to go through this stuff with our own men, and then you have these, our colored women have to go to Caucasian men, or you know, different races, to get the love that we're supposed to be getting from our own men, because our own men see us as cattle and possession, and they want to, you know, take over our lives. They don't want us hanging out, they don't want us doing this. It's chaotic. You know, this is why a lot of women are choosing to be celibate and choosing to be single and don't want children, because of the ties that come with it, because of the simple fact, like, you have a man that don't want you to thrive in your femininity. I'm a woman, I want to have children, and you want to treat me bad. Like, that doesn't make sense. Why would you want to treat the woman of your child bad? Why would you want the woman that you marry not to enjoy her relationship with you? Why would you want the woman that you lay down every night to be afraid of you? Why would you want that type of energy around you? That doesn't make sense. Why would you love bomb somebody and then pull away from them? Like, but there's people out there like that, right? And these women are getting so entangled with these people, with this type of energy. Like, the first time I see something that I don't like, I'm not sticking around. But some women, you have to get knocked upside the head, and I'm not saying physically, I'm just saying knocked upside the head with the same type of nasty language, nasty behavior, constantly being knocked upside the head with the reality that this person is not for you, but you sit there pretty. Oh, he's doing my car, and he's doing this for me, and he provides for me, and he's do this and he's do that. Meanwhile, you over here having stomach ulcers and your vagina smelling like a fish market. Why are you putting yourself through that? Why are you putting yourself through that? Right? You are a whole woman. A whole woman. Right? And if you're a first daughter, you know you strong as hell. You know you the eldest, you the strongest of them all. So why would you put yourself through that type of chaos? That doesn't make sense to me. Right? So I was just watching a video, and the man said marriage is a cage. And I agree with him, because some of these men want to come in and be abrasive with you. I've been asked plenty of times, and I'm just like, no, because you've been abrasive with me. I don't want that. I don't care if you being abrasive with me, if you cannot articulate your emotions, if you cannot say what's bothering you. I don't want to be with you. Why would I want to be with you? You're not going to have my hair falling out. You know, you're not going to have me at work, people looking at me like, what's wrong with her? No, I'd rather be happy. And that's something that I've always stood on. I'd rather be happy. If I'm going to be with somebody, I have to be happy. That doesn't make sense. Somebody to come into your life is to compliment it. And when you get a compliment, how do you feel? Okay? How do you feel? Nobody's supposed to come into your life and cause chaos. That's your life. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Just had a man on my phone telling me today how much he loves me and cares about me and stuff like that. But the only time we can talk is when he's at work. I'm just like, sir, what do I have on my forehead? Let me get it off. You know, let me get it off. But because I really don't care about that situation, I don't let it bother me. You can entertain yourself all you want. You're going to get the messages. Where you at? I'm at the beach. What you doing? I'm at the beach. I'm enjoying my life, because I know that's something that will not happen when I'm in your presence, because you only want me when we're at work. I don't want that. And because I know I want that, I don't want that. I'm not going to entertain it. I'm not going to be trying to link up with him. I'm not going to be trying to stress myself out. You told me you want me, but all we do is, I don't care. I really don't care. And that's the mentality that some of y'all women need to get at. Start finding a hobby to make yourself happy and stuff like that, because I don't understand how y'all getting into these rooted into these situations where your identity is no longer rooted in these situations, that you don't have no more friends, rooted in these situations that you lost yourself. Like, this doesn't make sense to me. And this is why I say you need to start looking at yourself. Like, how was this narcissist able to come in and turn your world upside down? No more blaming somebody else to come into your world. You had to open the door into your world. Make it make sense. And I'm not trying to shade anybody, but on some real shit, it's really sad to see my women, my females, my sisters going through stuff like this, getting unalived. The first time that man hit you is the first time you should have left and never look back. The first time that man raised his voice at you, you should have never looked back. Because he can't control his temper. Why would you want to be around somebody that can't control their temper? Because of love? No. Love is gentle. Love is kind. Let me pull up scripture for you. Hold on. Let me pull that up for you. Wait. Let me pull up scripture for you right quick. Okay. I don't know if it's 2 Corinthians, but hold on. Hold on. And I'm just going to leave it at this, because I really feel like a lot of y'all are just really not fulfilled with yourself. You know, you're not fulfilled with who you are. I'm a little cold. You're not fulfilled with who you are, and there's a possibility you don't know who you are because you haven't sat down to explore who you are and what you stand on and what your boundaries is all about. Give me a second. I don't know if it's Corinthians, but I know it's one of the C's. I think it might be Corinthians. Yes, Corinthians. 1 Corinthians. Okay, so 1 Corinthians 13:4, right? It reads, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Okay? So if you out here in a relationship getting manhandled, somebody's being abrasive with you, that is not love. Bye.